Hello everybody. So I'm sorry I'm doing another patio video and I'm a bit of a mess. I apologize in advance. I've had a few limoncello spritzes. Recap of the day. Today was wonderful. Went on my Vesuvius and Pompeii tour and it was wonderful. Vesuvius consisted of a bus ride to the base of the Mount Vesuvius. See, this is what happens when you have too many limoncello spritzes. And you hike up. And it's a little over a mile from where they drop you off on the bus to the top point and then back down. So it was like 2.2 miles total. It was amazing. According to the article that I read from the History Channel website this morning while I was eating breakfast, last time it erupted was 1944, and according to experts, it could erupt anytime. So I go up there and all I'm thinking is, well, shit balls. I'm hiking up a mountain. It's not a mountain, it's a volcano. It could erupt anytime. Anyways, if I'm gonna die, that'd be a pretty cool way to die. We came down, had a wonderful lunch. At some point, I can't remember if it was on the bus ride to Vesuvius or must have been. I met Craig and Janine originally from New Zealand, so they're Kiwis. They live in Brisbane, Australia now. They're amazing. They have 3 kiddos in their early 20s, late teens. We had a lovely lunch where we had lunch with a couple of English ladies, I think a mother and daughter, but I don't know, we didn't get too deep into it. I think it was a mother and daughter from the UK somewhere. Then after each of us got an individual margarita pizza, deliciousness, we hopped back on the bus and drove to Pompeii and then had a tour through Pompeii. And it was fascinating. I mean, the volcano buried Pompeii, I think 79 AD. So almost 2,000 years ago. And the things they were able to discover in the excavation of the ruins and how perfectly preserved so many things were about the culture and the buildings and the people who live there. It's absolutely fascinating. Okay, this is silly. I wasn't going to talk about this, but it's too funny. So there's a brothel, multiple brothels. Actually, according to our tour guide, there were 40 brothels and 23 bakeries. So you see what the priorities were for the people of Pompeii 2,000 years ago. They had this thing where, because the Bay of Naples, a lot of the people who went to the brothels were sailors, and so they actually had like indicators carved into the stones in the ground to let them know how to get from the bay to the brothels. They were penises carved into the rocks that directed people in the direction of how to get to the brothels. And I'm sorry, it's just crazy. So that was just one little tidbit. It was amazing. They had bakeries and shops and the main thoroughfares, the roads through Pompeii, and how you could actually still, it was so perfectly preserved from the volcanic ash, 21 feet deep of ash that had buried this city was so perfectly preserved, you can still see the ruts in the road, in the stones, where the carriages and the carts and things would go through the streets. It was absolutely incredible. All the other places in Italy and Switzerland and France have been amazing from a historical perspective as far as just being able to see things. But it was all this was here 500 years ago, and then this was built on top of it. So you're not actually seeing 500 years ago. You're seeing tiny pieces of 500 years ago, and then what it looks like now. Well, Pompeii is actually almost 2,000 years ago, exactly the way it looked 2,000 years ago. It was fascinating. It was wonderful. It was beautiful. Very cool. You could see Vesuvius, Mount Soma, which is actually the volcano that actually exploded. Used to be all one. So now it's like one big mountain and one small one. It used to be all one gigantic one. And then when it erupted in 79 AD and destroyed Pompeii, now you can actually see that when it exploded, the majority of one side of it completely got blown off. So now it looks like a tall mountain and a small mountain, but it used to all just be one. Fascinating, so cool. Okay, so then we took the bus back to Naples, and Craig and Janine are awesome. We decided we were gonna go get a drink after our tour, and we did, and we just got back. So, oh goodness, it's 11:11. Haven't looked at my watch in a while. Angel numbers indicating spiritual growth and journey, which I was talking to Craig and Janine about, so that's amazing. What are the odds of that? I literally look at my watch, tell you what time it is and how late I got back after having dinner and drinks with them, and it's the exact time that I mentioned to them I'd been seeing a lot of as an indicator that God was pointing me on a path. So, kinda, it's God again. Wonderful evening, wonderful friends. I firmly believe I will see them again, whether they come to visit me in Florida or I go visit them in Brisbane. They were amazing, so kind, so wonderful. We had a really lovely evening, and all in all, today was amazing. Another great day. Good morning. Just enjoying some breakfast before I head out for my Mount Vesuvius tour. Meeting in about 30 minutes. I did not sleep last night, hardly at all. And it did not occur to me why there would be a set of earplugs sitting on the desk until this morning when I looked at them again and went, I wonder if they keep these in here because they know it's in a very noisy area. I don't know if it sounded like fireworks. Just boom, 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 boom. I mean, for like minutes. So I don't know if there was some sort of weird celebration for a Monday night, which seems very odd, but that was going on. And then even right now, I'm sitting in the little cute breakfast nook in here, and it's quite loud just coming through that cracked window. So I guess this is just a noisy area, and I'm gonna have to use my ear smushums when I go to sleep tonight. But excited about my tour and having a lovely breakfast, and more later. All right, walking to meet my tour. I have to say something. Yesterday I was talking to my cousin. Like I mentioned, she is coming to meet me in Venice, and we were just discussing insecurities and some of the self-conscious things that I see when I look at these videos. And I just call out the things that I see as flaws in my face, etc. And I've always been pretty hard on myself, so that's nothing new. But I told her that I always just have a really hard time loving myself the way I look. I think I'm smart, I think I'm a good friend and a loyal person, but physically I have many an insecurity. So that said, since that conversation, so in the last, 12 to 18 hours, I have had 4 different people, as I'm just walking down the street, turn to me and say I'm beautiful. Random people. This never, ever, ever has happened in my whole life. have a conversation like that, talk about insecurities, and boom, it's like God is just trying to reinforce his love for me. And he just always knows what to do. So, silly story, but there you go. So I am, I don't know, maybe halfway up the mountain, going up to Mount Vesuvius, and the bus stopped at this little shop along the road where this man whose product gets sold down in the city actually makes it up here. Limoncello, and then this cream rum and delicious, wonderful things. Oh, hello, butterfly. Just God saying hello like he likes to do. Anyways, had to buy some, and this wonderful pistachio chocolate and lemon chocolate. So excited. I have snacks and drinks for the next couple of days. All right, we're climbing up. These are my new Kiwi friends, Janine and Craig. How beautiful. Okay, this hill is no laughing matter.
Oh, that breeze is nice. Uma coisa qualquer para me ver.
Não, deve ser um instrumento qualquer.
According to my History Channel article, we are due for an eruption here. All right, heading back down. Look at how pretty these flowers are growing out of this lava rock. Hey, good sized pizza for each person on the tour, included in our tour. There's my new friends. Okay, we're just walking in for our Pompeii tour. Just advised that 15,000 people have come in here today. This is Craig. Clearly see the lines where the horses were going down this road.
They had 3 of them around the table.
This is the swimming pool of the gymnasium where men would exercise in Pompeii. And I learned an interesting fact that the word for naked in Greek is gymnas, which is where we get the word gymnasium. Isn't that fascinating? I think that's fascinating.
Exit, it's going to be at the very end of the corridor to the left.
We found the one little tiny bar in an alley street that just so happens to have a big American flag. All right, update on the evening so far. I picked a better bar than Craig. We met a wonderful man named Paolo who lives in London, and he is helping his family out by helping in his business here. Oh, there's Paolo.
Hello.
Hello.
You okay?
And I learned a new expression. So the equivalent of a lightweight in Australia is a two-pot screamer. And Craig should be the picture in the dictionary for the definition.